Hi, welcome to ScatersLandingTV.com. I'm your host, Chris Bartlett. Hey, we are lucky enough. We did some segments with Del Arbour earlier. She's taken us on a behind-the-scenes tour as to what happens in the manufacturing process here at Del Arbour. So, Del, thanks. It's pretty exciting. I think the kids are going to be excited to see what happens. And you moms, a lot of times we don't really know how it's made, so we're going to find out.
Well, everything starts from a sketch. I don't know if you can see that, but, you know, on paper. And so this is the first part of the magic.
So that's a drawing that you guys come up with a concept?
And then
that's cool.
We have to make a paper pattern of the garment that we have just designed.
So from the paper, we're making like a life size, and that creates the size at that point?
This creates all the style lines.
That's cool.
And then we make all the little pieces of the pattern. Okay?
Wow.
That's...
So somebody takes that and blows that up into measurements, cuts it out, and now we have the paper version of what's going to become your costume in some fabric, some material, in some color. All right, let's continue. This is pretty cool.
Every dress that we make starts out this way.
Cool.
Okay, starts out. Now, we take these, you can just follow me around with this. We take this and we go into our cutting department.
Okay.
And
so now we're going to take the paper, you're saying, and then we're going to lay some material and cut from it? Oh, cool. You guys see that?
Here's the pattern and the fabric, and this will be cut out.
Okay, cool. So those pieces are going to get traced, and then you cut them up, and
this will all be cut out.
This must be difficult fabric to work with, though. It's so stretchy, and
you have to
know what you're doing.
You have to know what you're doing. Yeah.
Don't try this at home.
Yeah. Okay, and then just follow me around.
Here we go, guys. We're going to come to the next part.
In order, from the paper to here, we have to choose our fabrics.
Wow, that's an amazing array of fabrics. And so that's something that you're selecting based on what your vision was?
Exactly.
Wow.
And when we've sketched it, we've had the colors in mind. Sometimes we'll airbrush onto the fabric. It just depends. Sometimes we'll applique designs onto the fabric.
So when you get to this point, you really kind of already know in this array of fabrics where you're going?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, when we get to that point at the
on set there at the beginning,
at the pattern maker's table.
So you guys understand that? I mean, this is a vision. She knows where she's going here. Okay, we're not on a lost treasure hunt.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Cool, Del. That's amazing on the fabric.
Then we come to here.
Here we go. Come on along, guys.
You can see there's just patterns everywhere.
Patterns.
And they get bundled up into, now here's the dress, an order that's cut and ready to be sewn.
Okay, so this is a completed order. So you started on the paper, we've gone to the pattern, we've chosen your fabric, we've cut it. You're nice, and it's almost like how I take my lunch to work, but I'm ready for a little personal order, and now we're going to sew, right?
Very, very personal, yeah. Okay. And then this will be made up, okay, and then it ends up in
beading or
whatever, yeah.
So at what point now, if I was going to airbrush or something, that we're already cut, and then we airbrush?
It would be airbrushed over there.
At the beginning?
You would cut the pieces out.
And then
it's a long process. All the fabric has to be ironed.
Yeah.
So it's smooth and there's no little wrinkles in it. And then airbrushed, and then heat fixed.
Yeah, and you guys are great at that airbrushing, because I'll tell you, I'm very good friends with some other clothing manufacturers, and they say she is the go-to lady when it comes to airbrushing. And I remember one of the Haydenette's costumes that was on the cover of Skating Magazine. I think it was like a white to black. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we're very fortunate. We have very talented people. We have a gal, her name is Nilda, who does the majority of the airbrushing and has a real good eye and very creative. So
it always takes great teams, guys.
We wouldn't be here if we didn't have great people. Our sewers are like sample makers. They can make almost anything.
Right. So they actually take what's in Del's head, in what she has designed, and they actually bring it to life. That's cool. That's having a nice talented team on board.
It's incredible.
I know. I
can't praise them enough.
Come on along, guys. Here we go.
Here's a sample. This is something that is going to be in our new line coming out.
That's cool.
This is the beginning of it. That's the first sample. We have a second sample. We've got one more to go, and I think we've got it.
So that was bagged and then sewn, and then we added this is called nude mesh?
Nude mesh.
Wow. Chris, score one for you.
Yeah, very good. But we're
I've learned a couple things from
We're
you.
very fussy here, so we're tweaking it, and it's not quite what we want, and but we're almost there.
How do you know when you have a winner? You're one of those guys. How do you know that?
I'll
Do
show
you
you.
feel it, or you just know?
You sort of know.
Do you have to see
It's
it on
right.
someone, or
I
do you
have
need
to
the
tell you,
customer
some-
feedback?
You know, once in a while we'll have one that'll say, "Wow, this is a really great design," and it'll go. It just doesn't work.
Okay.
Once in a while it happens. We're not perfect,
No,
but
no.
we're pretty good.
I would say so.
Over here
I think we're going to be looking at some beading now.
is our beading station. All of these dresses need to be beaded. And these are all stock dresses right here.
So we're going to be making some of those off the racks with all the beautiful Swarovskis.
Right. Here's this example. This is here of a airbrush dress.
So what color did the fabric
White.
start out? This was white.
Wait a minute, I think it's white. No, it started out as yellow.
Okay.
And this
I'm amazed by that. I mean, I don't understand anything about it. I think someday when they're airbrushing, we're going to come back and you guys are
you
going to see
should
the
do
airbrush.
that, yes.
We're going to do an airbrush segment. We will.
Yes.
Del Arbor's inviting us back, everybody.
We'd love to have you back.
And I want you guys to know something, and Del will definitely be the one to tell me about this, but one of the reasons why a beaded dress is so expensive is it's time intensive, so we've got labor, but it's actually the cost of the beads, right?
Beads are
When you're
unbelievable.
using Swarovski, people,
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever bought a Swarovski item, but we're talking high end, right?
Yeah.
So that's the
Right,
most of the cost.
right. But I'm going to, I justify it this way. If you knit, okay, and you knit with a piece of string, you're going to have a lousy looking sweater, okay? If
I
you-
agree.
If you knit with cashmere, you're going to have a gorgeous sweater. So why take the time to bead this with a real cheap crystal when you can get Swarovski,
Right.
which is phenomenal.
We're back to what I like to talk about, which is like really fresh ingredients, really good content here.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
nice, Del.
So,
I'm really appreciative to have walked
Oh,
through this with you.
wonderful.
Any other part of the process we missed?
no, it goes to shipping and receiving. That's
Out to
it.
shipping and receiving.
Eileen,
We won't show you that. We'll leave something here at
Yeah.
Del Arbor a mystery. Del, thanks a
thank
million.
you, sweetie. Love you.
Love you. It was great being here with you.
Thank you.
So for SkatersLandingTV.com, until next time, happy skating.